Can't wait. Let's see how this one shakes out. Michael, all the best. Thanks for having a chat with us.
Thank you.
2 Americans taking on 2 French players today. Taylor Fritz is going to get us underway. Yeah, so often the cornerstone of the game. I think that's what I was alluding to. My open-ended question to him early on. Yes, he is winning. Of course he's winning, but why?
Yes.
You serve well, you play well. It's something that we talk about in the locker room all the time, but it absolutely holds true, doesn't it?
Yeah, it tends to be for everybody. There's not a player that wouldn't agree. I think for Taylor, I spoke to Michael Russell a little bit about 45 minutes ago, and I asked him the same question: what are the key things that you're looking for your player to own? And he said, well, we obviously know Gael's movement, his defensive ability, he's got the power, he can play big tennis and hit clean, he can take the racket out of your hand. But so I want Taylor to be aggressive. It's got to be an aggressive mindset throughout the course of the match and come forward. He wants him to be coming forward a lot. And there's a reason behind that, Robbie, because when Gael does get into that defensive, behind the baseline mode, you'd rather him, you'd rather your player to come forward. And Taylor's got reach.
Yep.
He's got height.
Good start. And I almost need a visa to commentate in this match. I've got one Aussie alongside me, and I've got another one who used to play with me as well, in Josh Eagle, holding down the fort, keeping a beady eye on things. Good afternoon, Josh.
Hi, guys. It's extremely warm courtside. I just want to check in with you. Are you okay up there in the air-conditioned booth? It's brutal down here.
You've got an umbrella? I've never used an umbrella ever, Josh.
Well, I will. So...
I thought those Queenslanders were tougher. They were used to the warm weather, Josh.
We are. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine. But talking about the serve, just a little tidbit. Taylor Fritz is yet to drop serve all tournament. That's how well he is serving. So confidence is high on his end. And look, I think the warm conditions really should suit Taylor, because he's just got a bigger game. Getting it out of his hitting zone, forehand, backhand from the baseline, he's dangerous. He holds that baseline better than Gael. So Gael, he does need to take some chances today. But look, what a clash, what a mouth-watering match we've got. You guys just keep relaxing up there, okay?
We will. Can you pass me that cold water, Robbie? A classic serve volley point immediately from Gael. The time? 10 past 2, he loves the sliding serve. You'll see a lot of that through the middle. Not Gael's best time to be playing, because one of his, I guess, pet hates is the sun.
Really?
And it's currently in play. And just, it's that ball toss. He feels like he finds it hard to get it, to move it out of the sun's space. So this end's really the tricky end for him. And I think if you've watched Gael's matches right throughout in New Zealand and also here early, he's come in and out of the matches, and there's been a lot of passive matches that he's played. This needs to look a little different. Taylor engages you more often, doesn't he? He makes you need to play at a level consistently through the time.
Yeah, he was chatting with me yesterday. There's Michael Tillstrom, who we had a chat to on the right. And Monfils, I was asking him about that opening round against Pedro Martinez. He was down 6-1, 5-2. And honestly, I'd actually just gotten up to leave the lounge thinking, what have I just seen? He's gone all the way to Auckland, and his agent is the tournament director, and he hasn't given a best effort. Come on, Gael. Anyway, I come back 2 days later, and the guy's in the semis. I couldn't believe it, Rog. He was awful there, but just shows you it's never over, and he ends up winning the title.
And your long-time agent and tournament director walks out onto the court, just have a little peek at you, Gael.
Yep.
And you eyeball him, and you're down.
Brilliant.
Gael thought, I'm scared. Dig in.
You know, it was the first season last year since 2005 that Monfils failed to reach at least one tour level final. Maybe somebody reminded him of that fact, and he thought, okay, 2025, I'm going to come out all guns blazing. And I tell you what, he entertained those in New Zealand big time.
40 love. Jannik Fritz.
One of the best serves around. I love the simplicity of the Fritz serve. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll show you some nice slow motion shots of it later. 2-1 to the American. Well, Taylor Fritz has been with Mike Russell on the left for a number of years now. Wolfgang Oswald on the right is long trusted physio.
Is that a tight shirt Mike's wearing? A tighter shirt? He likes it.
Coach of the year last year was Mike, so big props to him.
Does a great job.
Yep. And of course, a fun fact, it's not often that Taylor plays against somebody that Mike's also played against. And of course, he played against Gael on 3 occasions, did Russell. And unfortunately, that head-to-head is one-sided, 3-0 in favor of the Frenchman. So he's going to hope that Taylor can turn things around for him. He's heading in the Djokovic-Monfils direction.
Yep.
Was Mike, and he thought, I better quit while I'm only 3 down, rather than 19.
At least you get to play them. You're doing something right. Josh, is it on this side for Gael? Will it be that serve onto the backhand side that where he just hit that ace, where the sum would have an effect?
No, I think you called it in the opening game. I think the other end is more problematic for Gael on serve. I think it's it's definitely the other end. I'm just peeking out from my comfortable umbrella. No, it's definitely lively. The conditions are very lively, so it's hard to return. I think we'll see, shots like that where the ball's just flying off, and just keep an eye on whether any of the players send a racket back to get restrung as well. Just might need to go a little tighter with the tension as well. So it's as quick as you can get down here at the moment.
Well, he didn't make it, got there easily, and there's the issue for me for Gael. If he decides to hit the off-pace ball that's sitting through the middle of the court, I'm sure that the instructions are for Taylor is you've got to attack. You've got to hit, be aggressive, come forward. Let's make Gael pass from 10 feet behind the baseline. And you can see that jump up a bit, didn't it, Robbie? The one thing for me for Gael, you looked at his year, you look at how many wins has he had against players of this calibre recently. There was only one last year against Alcaraz.
Not a bad one to have a win against.
No, great win. And he would have enjoyed that battle, that hyped up competition. Cincinnati in the second round. On the other side, there's a few more, isn't there? Taylor Fritz had a lot of success against Zverev last year. Why do you think that is, Robbie? Lost once, won 4 times.
I think he's so good at
where's the matchup?
Negating the serve. And I think he's so disciplined about going forehand to forehand. He's good at breaking down Zverev's forehand.
Gee, he moves well, doesn't he? When he decides he needs to get the jets on to move out wide, and he's engaged, the Frenchman. And his job will be very much about keeping this scoreboard tight early. Must keep the scoreboard tight. That would be my messaging. You've got to play big early, keep the scoreboard tight, create that anxiety into the back end of the set. And that's when you find Gael might come up with these big electrifying winners. He may take the game. It's the part of the match that always inspires him and excites him.
Behind the players, please take a seat quickly.
He's done a good job so far. Didn't do too much fancy there. Gael just played the ball back through the middle parts of the court, didn't take on the lines at all. Accelerated a forehand, saw what he got out of it. Just a lot of different spins and speeds that come at you when Gael plays. And he can do that because he feels like he can defend well. It's tiring though, Robbie. To play like that is tiring over the journey.
You might beat who's in front of you on the day, but you're not going to win a Grand Slam playing like that, Rog. And that's what is frustrating as a fan of Gael Monfils, and as good as he is. You know, I pose a question. Has he underachieved or has he overachieved in his career?
Josh, I would answer that question by saying I think he hasn't used his athleticism in an offensive enough manner. He's used it to defend. And I think perhaps a little earlier on in his career, I would have encouraged him, even throughout the tail end of his junior days, to be a lot more offensively minded. Just qualify that by saying, if I have a look at his record in finals, I think he's 13 wins, 22 losses.
15.
You would just expect those numbers to be better for somebody of his class. And I always think under pressure, if you can be rather more offensively minded than hoping that you're going to get the errors from your opponent, I think you win more tournaments as a result of that attitude. And you just win more matches in general. Now, I'm very interested to hear from Rog, because he's been in the trenches with Monfils. But that's from the outside looking in, Rog.
Yeah, well, I've got a good story around it. We might not get to it all here. But our first ever match that he played was in Toronto against Igor Andreev. Big forehand, flighted forehand. Gael wasn't allowed to go backwards in that match. He's working hard here. So we talked about that at the start, and I said, I need you to have an offensive. We're going to use your weapons forward. I need you to get access to all your weapons, your big hitting, your athletic ability to move forward and take some balls at the net and your reach. So in that match, you can take one step back to defend, but you can't actually run backwards or move backwards. He lost 6 and 6. He came into net like about 40 times. And there's a reason, nice serve. And he was 41 in the world at that stage, Robbie, and there's a reason why he went into the top 10 very quickly, and that was because he was a lot more offensive-minded. That period that we were together, his offense was it was a different level. This is a bit more old school.
Yep.
So he had definite awareness about it. But you needed someone to drive it, and he could definitely play that way if needed. And Josh is right. This type of tennis, it looks, and it's okay at certain times in a match. Absolutely, you cannot deny that. But for the majority, when Gael is shot making, and he's at his most creative, that's when he's most dangerous.
His best results, if you were wondering, at a major, 2 semi-finals. Nicely done from Taylor. Nice soft skills there.
And I think, guys, just ultimately, I think collectively in this discussion, we all agree he's so capable, and we believe in him. So this is it's not a beatdown or a negative comment. He's just so capable, and he can step up and play big. But if you don't practice like that, you don't compete like that every day under pressure, it's hard to change, isn't it?
Nuclear athleticism that we're talking about.
What did I say, Robbie? Do not drop shot the Frenchman. With ease. Spare a thought for his wife. She's playing next on this court. Oh. Svitolina. What a great return she's had after becoming a mum.
It's almost like an "I told you so" comment from Mikael Tillström there, as if to say, let's go after that forehand side with a bit of pace.
This is the matchup we're getting that Michael Russell didn't want. He didn't want this just trading off the back of the court piece. Wanted his charge to be a little bit more upbeat.
Wow, he has clubbed that forehand, and I promise you that's not an easy shot from up there.
Not with your grip on the forehand, Robbie.
He would have chipped that and come in.
You know it.
No, but this is what the modern day player does. It's Alcaraz, Mensik, you know, I could keep going, Sinner. That's how it's played. So, and Gael can play that way too. We know he can. I'm actually interested also in your thoughts on whether you think Taylor Fritz could be the next guy who hasn't won a Grand Slam to actually win one. I'll put Zverev up there with him as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. he's a big-time player. He loves the biggest of stages, as does his girlfriend, Morgan Riddle. Their trade. It's day 7 of the AO 2025, the first major of the year.
It's when the gears change, Robbie.
It's the weekend, baby.
Yes.
Of course, we did have a Sunday start.
Players, please take a seat quickly.
So 7 days into the tournament. More and more of the majors are doing that. It's the case for Roland Garros and the US Open. Give the fans an extra day of main draw action. It's also good for the revenue stream.
But generally it is free movement. No, I know. I'm just, yeah, that's the announcement I made. Okay.
Eva Astaraki-Moore, she's been around for a long time. One of the most experienced and best chair umpires in the business.
Ladies, for service.
I think it was 2015 that Eva did the men's final at the US Open. And I want to say she made 8 perfect overrules.
Perfect.
No mistakes. Some of them were within a millimetre or two. And after about the 3rd or 4th one, Roger looked at her and kind of gave her the nod of approval, as if to say,
You're going
"Man,
well."
Yeah, you're going very well.
Just not sure when we're watching these rallies what rally ball or what position Monfils wants to get in and feels that he's going to win those rallies.
I think Josh, because he plays so freely and whatever comes, I'll deal with. He's not like a, you know, specific players are looking to get into that best forehand position or.
Okay, so both guys have started serving well. I'm a big fan of the Fritz serve. Do you like it, Rog? Let's take a closer look.
3 games.
I do in general because of, as you said earlier, it's very natural. It's got a good ball toss. It's very simple. His release, beautiful knee bend.
So upright on contact. I like the way he leads with the left arm, and the serving arm stays behind for a long time. That means it's got to move quickly to catch up, and there's no hitch.
And he's not a player that jumps too far into the court.
Yeah.
And that's important. The best servers in the game, our best servers that we've ever had, you'll notice they don't really jump too far in the court.
Interesting too, he's got a platform service motion where he doesn't bring that back foot up too as well, so I like that, and you got to time it very well. But Robbie, you're right, his throwing arm on ball toss is perfect. He's got a great release.
Just worried about the fans that are walking in behind Taylor. So there's free movement allowed. I do think that is something that Fritz needs to do a bit more of. Moments like that come in and finish off at the net. He typically doesn't like to He's more than happy just clubbing balls from the back of the court. And I think if he does want to get across the line in a major, that would be a nice addition to make. But you've got to start working on it in match sooner rather than later.
And he's been asked to do that. I was hoping we were going to get Michael Russell on the cans because he was asked to do that in this match. Michael, he said our best way forward is you've got to attack. You've got to come into net.
So far, Fritz has made 69% of his first serves. So not only does he serve big, but he's serving consistently.
Fritz, new balls, please.
Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
4 games to 3.
It's a great serve. Simple, so effective. 4-3. In the main draw here, Tom Most in the men's singles department.
Love 15.
Oh. I'll take it.
Yeah, and you get lucky with those, don't you? Because sometimes they hit the tape and they're flat. This one actually accelerated after it hit the tape and stayed low. So if you Taylor here, Gael's, his favourite serves are wide on the first court and through the middle with the sliding serve on the second, so you'd be hanging there. Yeah, that's a poor... so, yeah, if you have done your homework on Gael, that you've got to be ready for the sliding serve. Give the middle away, that's fine. Especially the pressure points.
30. Games.
Well, we were wondering if Monfils' level might just drop, and when you're playing top 5 opposition, you just need the smallest of drop-offs and you end up paying the price. That's why these guys are where their ranking is. It's because the margin for error against them is so small.
Thank you. Behind the players, sit quickly, please.
It's outstanding. Quality ball striking.
And what Gael's got up the other end is a man who's prepared to dig deep and actually absorb the extended rallies and keep pushing. So that's the challenge he's got today. I actually like Gael up on the baseline on the second serve return, because he has the ability to manipulate his hands on both sides and hit the ball into all sorts of directions, Robbie. And he can hit it with power too when he wants to. And I don't, at the moment in his tennis career, he doesn't, right now, this phase, he doesn't use it enough. So it becomes the rally starter from
30-15.
as he moves further back on the second serve return. So it becomes a rally starter, and then you get into these baseline rope-a-dope type rallies.
That's what we're talking about, a bit more of that. That's mainline from Monfils. It's got to be pretty close to, I reckon, 140, 145 kilometers an hour on that forehand. Set point. So you serve well, you play well. Morgan's happy. So is Taylor. He's won the opener 6-3 against the Frenchman.
Against Gael on his serve. And the reason is you do realise he just doesn't have that second serve that's got a bit of shape, the kick serve. It's always a slice serve. And so at times under pressure, he will slide that one into the net and make that mistake. Did Taylor Fritz do enough attacking for Michael Russell? Were they happy with that, his positioning in the court? Probably not. Limited amount of time on tennis, on the court. Oh. I think they both found that quite humorous. How do you miss that, Robbie?
I don't understand how the ball's gone up off his strings when it's so high above the net. I mean, surely this has just got to go straight down. Oh, man.
Did he use all the strings, Josh?
That's extraordinary. I mean, what an opportunity. You've won the first set. You know, try and get an early break. Mike Russell was not happy looking at his reaction.
I think that's top seed on the blooper reel today, maybe even for the tournament, that one.
Such an advantage, though, isn't it, for Taylor Fritz? You know, it's very hard to see Monfils winning 3 of the next 4 sets. You know, it's a big boost, I reckon, for Taylor and his team. And they've got this first set. That would have been spoken about, the importance of getting an early start, getting a lead. I mean, you win Auckland, but it's about 10 degrees over there. It's very different conditions to playing here on a really warm day.
And that's what he can do. Josh made mention of it. We all know. He can stand up on the baseline and just accelerate the ball with ease.
I just love him to play the whole match like that. Win, lose or draw. Just get out there and play big serve, big, go for it. Come on, Gael. Let's go.
Does he want popcorn down there, Josh?
No.
I think he wants a popcorn match. I know, I agree with you. And
yeah, it's just, I mean, we know how good he is and what he's capable of. I find it extraordinary that he just can't bring himself to play like that consistently. Like, you know, whether it goes in or not, but he's got the weapons to just do so much damage.
And you got to remember, his junior years, he was not brought up like that. There was no doubt about that. He played a certain way. Then, you know, then there was an injection of time when he was a lot more proactive. As I said, throughout time, that was a genuine top line activation. But his fallback and his default position is this that we're seeing. He still gets the wins though, doesn't he, Robbie?
15 love.
You can just imagine him being so good in the juniors because he was such a good athlete, right? He didn't really have to worry about being too proactive because...
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. You can YouTube it. There's a junior match that Joe Wilfred Songa and Gael played, and it's identical to how they virtually play now. Sensational. And that ball there, you know, that was an accelerated forehand. If you watch it, it's just arm. This is how much power he's got, the Frenchman. This is all arm. Talking about some high quality DNA.
Just to Josh's point, last season, when Fritz won the opening set, he only lost 2 matches. He was 44-2. That's testimony to what a great front runner he was. Unfortunately for him, one of those was against Lorenzo Musetti at Wimbledon in the quarterfinals. He ended up losing that in 5. Heck of a comeback from Musetti after losing the opening set. The other, if you're wondering, was against Holger Rune in Indian Wells. So those are 2 results that would have hurt. It's almost like his home Masters 1000. It is his home Masters 1000. 5th major for Fritz, that one. It's from just around the corner. And a former champion there, of course.
40, 30.
Would have been a bitter pill to swallow. Elastic energy on that forehand, so loose.
And the angle he's able to find from virtually mid-court, middle of the court. Look at that angle. How short he can get that into the service box.
Advantage, Fritz.
He'd be disappointed with that. He's generally a good player at putting ball back into play off the return. He's a Frenchman.
Game, Fritz. One given.
And if you're Taylor Fritz, every time you see Gael do that, you're probably happy when you see him go out to those wide balls and have that big slash at it going for a clean cold winner. It may be in your mind that, you know, that push, you're starting to win a little bit of the physical battle.
It's not coming back. It's about as short as it gets, and still can stay in the service box and go over the net.
Love. Out. 40 love.
Conditions was toasty yesterday. These kind of service games are such a blessing if you can get a quick hold, get the balls back over to your opponent's side of the court, let them serve. And that serve was good for both boxes. Right on the apex of the line. 2-1 second set. Adelaide Crows AFLW team, one of the top picks in the draft this year. You can be very proud of your daughter. She is a fine young woman, and we wish her all the best for the upcoming season. She's been around Grigor and Gael for many, many a year. So much so that she actually went behind Roger's back and wanted a courtside ticket for today. And spent her own hard-earned money to buy it. Respect.
Yeah, well, she respects the player box, and Gail's got a lot of people here, so she likes doing things on her own, in her own way. So I love that about her too.
He's so good at making opponents play. I think that's one of Fritz's biggest strengths. If you get something short and central, hits the corners so well.
Out. 15-13.
More like it.
And you can see there the evidence. The minute, if you've got Gael a couple of metres back and you can deliver blows like Taylor Fritz can, well, there'll be more retreating, and you're definitely going to own the points of the net. You'd have to come out on top, wouldn't you, Robbie?
Mm-hmm. You would.
You'll get that amazing passing shot every now and then, but he was pushing there, Josh. Gael there on top of the court a bit more and really pushing.
A little better, but this is not putting any stress on Taylor Fritz. He's not he's not getting him where Taylor's feeling uncomfortable, not only in court positions, but just physically as well. Like Taylor, for me, totally is in control of the bulk of these rallies. And on a warm day, I think that needs to change.
Gael Fritz. Two games over.
One of the measurements for me of the great players is how well you deal with short central balls, because you get a lot of those over the course of a match. You alluded to spectacular passing shots. That's what we see on the reels and on the highlights, but those are few and far between. It's how accurate can you be when you've got the simple shot. And I think it's something that Taylor does very well. And as you go in the different ranking groups, Josh, sorry, I interrupted you there, you get less and less accurate. That's what I find.
No, if you do a deep dive, the +1 shot, whether it's the serve +1 or the return +1, it's the accuracy is absolutely key. You know, the better players, they hit it closer to the lines. They put you more and more under stress, under pressure. It's a good point you make, I reckon.
Beautiful touch here. And the other part to that is their acknowledgement. They can acknowledge the ball quicker and will action. They'll see it through the air quicker, and they'll have no hesitation to action.
And it's actually hard to train. I find as a coach sometimes, you know, do you just feed them a short ball? Do you do repetitions like that? It's not easy to... It's sometimes hard to put a player in training under pressure with such an easy short ball, is I guess what I'm trying to say. But if you execute that well and hit it close to the lines, you will be rewarded with your rankings for sure.
Yeah, another strong service game from the Frenchman. That'll delight him and his legion of fans, of which India Rashid has won. 3-2. News. What is good news is that we have 3 courts that have retractable roofs, so we get a lot of tennis. And of course we keep the broadcasters that tune in around the world very happy. It's the only major that has 3 retractable roofs. A little bit of Monfils magic.
Love 15.
So there's Taylor coming in. It was a little awkward volley. And as you said, a little bit of magic. Quick to anticipate, wasn't he? Be disappointed with that. Does that stop in your mind someone like Taylor progressing forward? Is he a big believer?
I haven't seen big progress in that part of his game, so I think it might, if he doesn't win a major, I reckon it's the one area that's held him back.
30-15.
Because there's going to be times in 5-set matches where you need to be different. If your A game is not hitting the mark, just to change the way the feel of the game is going. And we saw that last night, didn't we, with Jack Draper against Alexander Vucic.
40-15.
It was Jack Draper who, when his back was against the wall, kept wanting to press. And he was taking risks and coming in, and he knew he'd lose a couple, but it was his way home at the end.
Yeah, well said.
Gael Fritz. 3 games over.
Do you feel like the clock's ticking for a guy like Taylor Fritz, just given where men's tennis is at in terms of winning a Grand Slam? We know we've got Sinner and Alcaraz, but boy, it feels like some of these young guns are coming up quick as well, fast on their heels. So do we look at it and go, well, you know, this next 12 to 24 months, he probably needs to strike? Or
Yes, I'm with you, Josh. That's the feeling I get, absolutely. I think there's a window of opportunity. He's got the experience of playing one major final, so you know he's got experience in the bank.
15 love.
He's won Masters 1000. He's had an incredibly consistent year. The belief that he belongs with these guys is right up there, but I'm worried about the fact that he can't finish off at the net as well as some of the others, because he's going to have to. Sinner, Alcaraz move too well. They'll put extra balls in play. And we're not talking about an overhaul of his game, are we, guys?
No.
We're just talking about moments that define matches where the opportunity presents itself and you've got to be brave, sneak in and finish off.
Out. 13-15.
I think that is something that Darren Cahill has done very well with Jannik Sinner. I remember doing the Sinner Alcaraz quarterfinal at the US Open. I think that was 2022 already. Nice soft hands from both. And both guys are already there, coming in a lot. And they made a hash of things on occasions. In fact, Sinner came in more than Alcaraz. But they were prepared to come in, do the right thing, and lose the point, because they saw the bigger picture. Look at them now.
And you must do it in game.
That's the hard part, right?
That's the hard part. Am I prepared to sacrifice
lose
that? Yeah.
Lose a match to gain the experience for the long-term game.
What a game.
Gael Monfils.
That was a Monfils special at forehand.
New balls, please.
Ale! 4-3 it is. It's very popular in New York. It was one of those ones you needed a selfie with, Josh. And
yeah,
it brings in a lot of revenue.
Didn't it ever? It was some extraordinary amount.
Yep.
Something like, you know, 25 Australian dollars per one at least. It's, their revenue was off the charts.
Yeah, I think it was 12 million off that one item alone.
I'll have half a glass, thanks. At 25 ahead.
Yeah, the Piccolo version, please. More like it.
13-15.
Yeah, from this far back, you're in an advantageous position, but you also have to get the volley right. Because you know if you don't, and it's got some time, the Frenchman's going to track it down.
bit of joie de vie.
How did you like the backhand that he just jumped on top of and delivered that big blow? I know, Josh, you would have loved it.
Yeah, it's great to see, and he's done it better this set, guys. We must say he definitely has been more aggressive, and he's identified that if he's to get back into this match, he needs to just try and force himself up onto that baseline. It's been better, but Taylor Fritz has certainly been able to manage and go with him to this point.
First service.
Played a lot of tennis in the last 10 days as Monfils.
Yeah, I'd imagine just a tiny bit of breeze has just crept into this match where it's at Taylor's end, it's going down the court, so he's hitting into the wind now, Gael Monfils, so I'm sure Taylor will be pushing hard here. What, 4-all, second set? If he can just put together a good 2 or 3 minutes of play here, he might be able to crack this match right open and nab a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Got him. Was always getting him. It was a little game he was playing there. Just put that little short ball in, come in and give me a target. What a set of serving Gail's had as well. It's been a big factor in this one, Robbie. His current set, what is he, 75% of balls in, winning 93% of that first ball, and there's another one.
He's only lost 2 points in serve this set.
Yeah.
One on the first, one on the second. That'll tee you up nicely. Another comfortable hold for the Frenchman. It's just a game away from evening things up at 5-4.
It's absolutely cracking out here, mate.
There's testimony to how well Fritz deals with anything that is short and central. This is his +1, normally a forehand, but if you do find his backhand, you don't get too much reprieve either.
And again, there's another +1 shot, and you know you hear commentators or coaches talk about the +1 because it's that 0 to 4 shot band that is so crucial. If you win that stat, you generally win the match. So it's all about executing really well early in the rally when you get the opportunity.
And Josh, at 0 to 4, they're 33 apiece currently.
Let's see by the end of the match, though. I actually think that 0-4 should be more like 0-6. I think that's more indicative of the rally bands. I know they sort of break it up into 0-4, 5-8, but I prefer 0-6 because I think you find the person that wins that stat wins.
Clean game, and I felt Taylor Fritz needed one of those as well, Robbie. A quick game. They've been quick on the other side of the court.
Nice to see him use the body serve. He tends to be very frugal with it, just generally pumping the corners. Good tennis intelligence. He's always had a great tennis IQ as Taylor. Definitely increased the speed on his ground strokes in this set.
15-11.
Testimony to that. Winds up a little bit, 3Ks an hour. Backhand, as you boys were alluding to. He's got a bit more bite on that. 5 kilometers an hour up from set number 1.
And what you find then with when Gael does have a more of a proactive positioning in general and ball striking is limits that hard aggressive running that he's got to, where he's got to defend across and back from the baseline. Saves his body.
Led for service.
And it also, Robbie, gives him a different look at the court. It's an energised look at the court. He feels like he can create his own painting.
Well, he's been the painter of so many beautiful pictures on the canvas that has been his tennis court for the last 20 years or so. 6-5.
Walking out in day one. First round, it was 34 degrees at about 11 o'clock. Got caught in a 5-set battle, and I asked my coach at the time, Bob Carmichael, nails. That's a good start from Gael here in this game. I needed something to eat. He came back with a hot dog.
Oh, that's a classic nails story. Beautiful. I tell you, this is the story that Monfils would have wanted. Wanting the opening point, chances of breaking go up about 26% when you do.
There it is. We normally see that shot on the clay courts at Roland Garros, where he's got time and he just throws his body with that forehand winner of 156. It hasn't been the quickest one he's hit, but it's the most important one so far. And that time, Robbie, it was all about, I'll make the ball, I'll put balls through the middle of the court, and here you go, Taylor. Go as hard as you like, but if you miss or you get a little nervous, I'll have 3 set points.
Taylor Fritz broken for the very first time in the tournament. And that means Monfils even things up at a set apiece. Yeah, right.
So he served well. We know that. A lot of first serves in the court. That actually helps you. Gives you confidence, as you said, Robbie. If you serve well, you play well, and he definitely did do that. He stepped up on the court like us three were asking a little bit more of, and we didn't see a lot of. He didn't have to do a lot of defending. A lot of it was about his shot making, the variety of his shot, the different speeds, but he had better court presence, and the look that he gave his crew at the end. Well, that one there. I'm here, boys. Let's go.
The winner of this contest will take on either Ben Shelton or Lorenzo Musetti. Just checking the order of play as to when those two will lock horns. That'll be in the John Cain Arena, not before 5 p.m. this evening. I'm sure Ben will be keeping an eye on this one, as will his dad Brian.
Then the beauty, Robbie, of breaking as you come out your serve first, start of the third. If he can continue this service, you'd think the numbers aren't going to stay where they are, but if you can keep it near, and he's opened up like that, Taylor Fritz will have a big problem on his hands.
Spot serving has been good in this match, especially out wide. Wow, cut that one a bit fine.
So when the greats of the game, when they ever lost a set, they would come back out. It was like a religion. They would come back out and play a big game. If it was on their serve or returning, you could see they would like to let their opponent know that their heavy investment was still there immediately.
Well, we told you he was serving accurately, and hopefully we can illustrate that for you.
Gael Monfils. First game, third set.
That was an impressive game, wasn't it?
Yep.
Because it is important. You've won that set. You can sit down. You can. There's a bit of a high, Robbie, and then to be able to pick yourself up and play a strong game again was really critical for the Frenchman.
It certainly was.
And I remember always talking to Gael about the importance of the emotions that are played out at the back end of sets and at the start of sets.
Yes.
And how he had to continually, he couldn't leave them. He couldn't have that dip. The engagement part of that, and how those could be really, they could have huge effects. Let's see what his push is like here. Taylor's been rattled.
That's more like it. That's what we're talking about.
They were big. This was a big forehand here. Had a look, wasn't really sure if you wanted to, but then finished off with a pretty good volley. You've got to hit them though.
Even in the shade, it's pretty warm.
And with the players being able to use coaches when they're up the same end to talk to, I wonder if Michael Russell did push a point home about we need a little bit more forward movement from you.
Gael Fritz. 1 game on.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you've got a high tennis IQ, that's brilliant. But as we know with a lot of some of the players, they're so stubborn.
That's what makes them good at the same time, isn't it?
And even though they might be able to feel it and see it, the willingness to do it's the key, isn't it?
Even from my playing experience, sometimes you get so involved in a match, you don't quite have that 10,000-foot view that a coach has. That's not coming back. He has cranked that forehand.
15-all.
And to your point, Robbie, look at how accurate that ball is.
He's one of the best in the business. 157 clicks. Beautiful beyond compare. That combination of shots was gorgeous. It was in the Jagger Richards range. working well together. Continues to back up the serve beautifully. 2-1. We've had some John Farnham yesterday evening that had Fitzy out of his chair, bopping and weaving. It's a rare sight, but it was a good one.
His wheelchair.
Yeah, that would not be a great sight, seeing Fitzy bopping and weaving, by the way. Wouldn't be quick, Josh.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Would have taken a long time once he weaved to the left to get back to the right. Big thing for me as well was watching Gael and also seeing all his previous matches. His energy levels in this match are, the stocks are a lot higher. Came in and out of some matches throughout the course, but in this particular match here, they're very level.
Vibration dampener that he has in his racket. Little round pink one. It's one of the original ones that Gael has there. Players often tinker with their rackets in the off season. And generally, if they play with a vibration dampener, that pretty much stays throughout the course of their career.
And Gael's also one of these players that can instantly change a frame virtually in a couple of minutes. He can grab a new frame. We went from one manufacturer to another manufacturer, tried to get them spec'd up the same, and he said, Roger, just feed me 3 balls and I'll tell you if I like the racket. One through the middle, one out wide to the forehand, one out wide to the backhand. And the first racket he said no. Second racket, 3 nice hits. This is the one.
Brilliant.
Took it into the tournament the following week, 2 frames. Oh, he's playing some ball at the moment. This is a bit of vintage. Gael, there's no doubt about that. Look at the accuracy of his ball striking as well. And we took 2 frames into that tournament, kept restringing them, and he made the final. Wow, couldn't believe it. Didn't look back. And then there are some to try and, as you know, Robbie, just to get a tiny bit of change can take years.
I don't know about you guys, but For me, Taylor is just looking half a step slow today. And he shouldn't, because he's played the fewest amount of matches, fewest amount of games of anybody in the third round. So he should come in looking fresh. Not as sprightly as what I saw at the United Cup. And just leaking unforced errors. And perhaps there for the taking today. 3-2, third.
And maybe at any other event, he does not turn up for that match. So he discovered something about himself. What did I say, Robbie? Do not drop shot Monfils. This was always going to come forward toward. It was actually meeting Gael as well. It wasn't a good execution of the drop shot. I'll be disappointed with that. That's a poor return.
Because if you saw Fritz tying his shoes during the timeout, does have a new sponsor, of course, with A6 now. That was a new collaboration that started in August of last year. Ball on the strings when he got broken at the tail end of the second set. It was the forehand that let him down, that leaked unforced errors. And another big point, it's that same side that is lacking control. This could be big for Monfils.
There's a few opportunities there for Gael to get around and actually use his forehand and actually be creative with his forehand there aggressively.
And those are the...
He was in two minds then. He was just throwing the ball back, saying going miss, and then all of a sudden he thought, well, maybe I need to be aggressive. That was... let him off the hook.
Yeah, big time. so effective when he goes after it.
How many different types of balls were thrown in there? There was a slice, there was the off pace, there was the firm one, there was flighted one, and then that hook forehand, which not many players in the world can do, Robbie.
Yeah, power angle.
You can't actually see it as well because it just happens late.
And that right there is the joy of having a world-class serve. Because in the tightest of moments, with just one swing of the racket, the point is yours. That'll work. And as well as I can remember, I think this is the first point that he has won. Playing the drop shot, won it outright. In other words, Monfils hasn't got there.
I'm surprised he didn't put his racket out at it. He generally does. Wasn't too far away.
It's a very important hold in the context of this match.
3 games over.
Yeah, that was impressive. There are times in matches where things aren't going your way, and as you said, you can get out of it just with one particular shot, the serve that time.
Thought for a second there, that might be our co-commentator. He's so popular in this part of the world as Fitzy.
That was a different attitude, wasn't it? The opening at that point. Thanks for letting me breathe, Gael. And now I might throw something at you. Hasn't lost too many opening points recently.
Good spread. If you have a look at the contact point there of Fritz on the forehand to where he would have had to contact the ball on the backhand, he's got to cover 10, 12, 14 meters there at least.
And with just easy power.
Yeah.
How he can accelerate that ball. Plenty of sprints going on. Monfils doing the vast majority of them. That's going to lick the line as well. And that's why you're looking for Gael to get around and use his forehand. Yes, he can generate the big one off his backhand as well, but the way he's able to use his wrist to come around the ball in disguise.
This is a Monfils masterclass at the moment. And he is giving Fritz all kinds of headaches. It's 4-3.
match here on Margaret Court Arena. The 38-year-old taking on the number 4 seed, and right now he's got the upper hand. Fun to watch so far, Robbie.
Yeah, there's not only the tactical battle that's going on, but the physical one too, given the oppressive heat. Is that the slightly older version of David Wheaton back in the day, right?
Yes.
You remember that, Josh?
30 love.
Sure do. Yeah, very, very good player. I'm not sure what his career high would have been, probably 4. But made the finals famously there in the Grand Slam Cup.
Always had the American flag bandana, didn't he? Famously. I'm going to go with career half 6, Josh. We've gone with 4. Wow, top 5 week.
Go to work, Robbie. Let me know.
Career high was number 12 for Wheaton. I thought he was top 10 for sure.
You guys had no idea.
Yeah, miles off that. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
He was a very good player.
I can feel for Josh. He's got some warm conditions out there, so, you know. But you, Robbie, come on.
Australians.
Are you disappointed with your pick?
I am.
6? Yeah, I thought you'd be knocked about.
I was influenced by Bully. That won't happen again.
Huge game here.
Yep. Continues to impress on serve. Has he been going this set? He's only lost 3 points this set.
Staggering.
One thing that Fritz is very good at, that is maximizing the moment.
And the hard part for that from Taylor as he looks at his crew is when that goes to the forehand side, Gael can shape up as if he's going to let that go and let it go down the line. And then he's just got those hands where he can just make adjustments.
Okay, he's got a half chance here now.
30
Heart rate will be slightly elevated, serving at 4-all.
40-30.
Just a lot more offensive, isn't he?
Yep.
Gael. There's no, he's got weight on the ball. Not letting Taylor take control of the baseline at all.
Gael Monfils.
He's doing well in the ace race as the Frenchman. He leads it 16-9, and he leads 5-4 in the... Well, it's been a fantastic performance so far from Gael Monfils. Given that he's played a fair bit of tennis this week, especially in the opening match against his fellow countryman Giovanni and Pechi Pericot. That one was long. 3 hours and 46 minutes. After being 2 sets to love up.
And match point. Because I was waiting to go on after that. Then I went and had to rest for another couple of hours. But he's looking fresher. There's no doubt about it.
He is.
Gael Monfils, he looks good. You know, winning becomes a habit. It's like he's just all of a sudden started in Auckland, just got on this run, and he's forgotten how to lose. He's little things that sometimes do worry him, certainly not worrying him at all at the moment. So, gee, if you could grab a 2-1 lead, it's a long way back for Taylor then.
Yeah, and Josh is right. This next, I think, 15 minutes. Big for the #4 seed.
Yeah, fairly likely, I think, for both players. Whoever wins this set, I think, has to be a massive favourite to go on and win. You know, he doesn't give a lot away, though, does he, Gael? Like, he's always sort of moping around. You know, I don't know how he's feeling, of course, but he's a heck of an athlete, Roger.
Yeah, he's got some push. Yeah, he does. He doesn't give you... Well, and sometimes you can have the signs that you think he needs a stretcher. You know, and then he's racing around like a rabbit. In fact, faster than a rabbit.
No, he's playing possum.
Well, it took me.
5 games on.
You know, I obviously watched Gael, but then, but when you're working like side by side, it just took me not a long time, but a bit of time to work out when is he fatigued, when isn't he not fatigued. But what we do know is that he's got this. He does have an inner competitive mind when he's got his mind right there. And he loves this stage.
Third time's a charm.
Love 15.
First time we've seen Taylor as well go continually back behind Gael as well. That was a different type of movement pattern, and it generally would get you a lunging chip reply. As I said, it's playing the wrong
game.
Especially given how good he had been on the previous point, but going aggressive and back behind Monfils. More of the same.
30-15. net for service.
Beautiful placement. That's beyond special. French flair to take a 6-5 lead.
Full house. And they're loving every minute of it.
Love. Love.
Serving numbers almost identical for both. That's what's going to make the tie break so fascinating. They've both only lost 6 points on serve in this set. Okay, forget about the service games now. Let's put our games under the microscope of a tie-break. What's your gut feel? I want to hear from each of you. Josh?
Yeah, I'm tipping Taylor Fritz. I just think... I don't know why.
Okay, that's why we call it a gut feel, right? What about you, Rod?
Well, I got a big gut.
Well, you know where I'm leading. I think I'm leading Gael. I like how he's serving, but also I feel like he'll take a cut at a few balls in a moment that might bring some magic.
Filthy from Monfils. How about that?
The feel, the touch, the use of the full court, and then this over the top. And everyone was in the stadium was riding that ball in the air until it dropped. That is the Frenchman. We've seen the Frenchman the last 2 points. That is his package. Full defense, still had some strength, weight on the ball. And again, defending at the greatest level and then able to hit the ball in the right spot when it mattered the most, when Fritz was coming forward. Look at that.
What a start to the breaker.
And Robbie, that's what I was talking about, the differential there where Gael will just make something happen off a ball and take a point. That return. Has he hit one like that so far this match?
Can't think of one, but that forehand return melted into his strings. So often such a big swing set. Here's the third set when it's 1-1. And if Monfils looks down the other end of the court and he can see that Fritz is struggling, that's got to give him energy. Plenty of it. 205 kilometers an hour. Placed to perfection. 18th ace.
I'm 38 years old, but just move me side to side, I'm good. This is like a training drill.
What an injection of pace. What an engine he's got on him. What an engine.
It's vintage Gael right there.
Has not dropped a point in the breaker.
We're in great seats, but I wish I had Josh's right now for that this tie break.
Yeah, I got it completely wrong, of course, with calling Taylor Fritz, but gee, this is such a breaker. And I mean, the crowd have just come to life as well.
Hangs on in there.
I mean, how did he lose that point?
6-1.
I just thought there was going to be a curler around the net there. It was all set up. All credit to Taylor there for coming forward.
He's got a handful of set points left. Glorious choreography about how he plays this game, Rog.
7 games to 6.
Artistic, athletic, and authoritative. He's 2 sets to 1 up against the 4th seed.
It was a high-quality set for both players. Taylor also was, you know, his service numbers was big, both having big numbers on serve, as you mentioned before, at one point barely losing points. And Taylor threw everything he had at Gael at the time. Tried to be aggressive, tried to come forward. Didn't miss much, but the Frenchman, he was in rare form.
What a point that was early on. You knew he was feeding the ball well. Both guys came into the tie. Just maybe the change of kit and 5-6 minute reprieve. Just recharge those batteries somewhat for Fritz. He's going to need it.
And if you're Gael, I actually want to see the same. I need to see the same body language from him, because I don't want to see a bit of anything that's cruising around that maybe I'll save a few points here or there. I need to give Taylor the same visual. Engage him early here. As we know, tennis matches can turn very quickly. Taylor will not go away.
There's going to be moments in this set, just like we saw. We had a half chance for Fritz in that third set. I think he had Monfils love 30 in one of the games, and can you maximize that moment? Normally he's so good at doing that.
And he'll be, hopefully, in his mind, you know, you've got to play your brand of tennis, but he'll be hoping that there's a bit of Gael that does want a little breather. Does the serve, does it come off a little bit? Do I get a few more opportunities on the second serve? Different change up there. That was the second serve to the backhand side at 181 kilometres an hour.
Intelligent tennis. He is going to make Fritz suffer as much as he can.
Yeah, it's a good word, isn't it? When you're watching that, you're thinking they're worth more points down the road somewhere.
I mean, they're serving numbers. They've got to be some of the best in a long time for Monfils.
And in this rare form that Gael's in at the moment, you know, when you're playing a player who's number 4 in the world, your form, you know, to be a 2-set-to-1 leader, your form has to be at a premium.
Yep, and that's what we're seeing, no question about it.
And it's premium from Gael. And if you're up the other end or you're Michael Russell in the coach box, it's hard to coach against. Because where are we going? What type of tennis can beat this player when he's playing this well? Look at that. Things like that, his ability to track the ball down from anywhere on this playing surface. So that starts playing on your mind.
There's one of those moments that we were talking about.
And I got a feeling that racket cracked Robbie too when it landed on the ground. Had a good look at it. It's not going to change it, but it did make, you know, that crack sound you hear?
Yes, it's a horrible sound when you're a junior, isn't it?
Yeah. How do I tell my parents?
First thought.
That was pretty brave.
15-30.
Needed to own that point. The comfort level of actually staying in the rallies at the moment for Taylor Fritz is not at its highest. He would feel that, and Gael would definitely be aware of it.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a good hop.
All.
It's good athleticism here from the California kid. Oh, that is a magnificent shot. Needs, must.
This has been a very good effort to crawl back from up 30 here. There were signs that it might have just got away from the American.
Gael Fritz.
I love the attitude. He is not going away. He will bleed himself dry to get back into this one. Been wondering what the fatigue factor might be like for both players. So often, every barometer is the speed of the shots. We've got to keep a beady eye on those. And you can see the Fritz forehand from set 1 to set 4, it's way down. Monfils' forehand from 1 to 4 is way up.
And that was because Gael became offensive, didn't it?
15-love.
And the accuracy of the ball striking from the Frenchman is the key. When Taylor does move, Gael, that ball that he retrieves generally finds a good mark.
Tell you what, we haven't seen the Roddick service action replicated so well for many, many years. That thing is, it's dropping the hammer today. And just to give you an idea of how well this serve is working, and I'm comparing the numbers to his 2024 season, his most recent season. The first serve percentage is up 4%, so that's a nice uptick. Points won on his first serve is up 11%.
Wow.
From 74 to 85.
That'll help.
And second serve points won is up 21% today on a season average.
And that'll win you a tennis match.
No kidding.
Big time. That number. Taylor having a little look a couple of times now down the other end just to see whether that extended rally does it. Am I breaking through at all? He's 38.
Yep.
Am I making any inroads on the physical part of the game? First time, it's been a long time since the rally was totally controlled
Advantage, Fritz.
by Fritz, where he could stand in the middle and actually use his forehand and just dictate play with heavy blows. Gives himself an early look here in the fourth. Must feel good, Robbie, just to be able to do that.
This is confidence right here,
Yeah.
right? Winning matches.
100%.
Just no hesitation. The decision making is clear. It's on a 7-match win streak at the moment.
Serve 177.
Advantage, Monfils.
Finds the line. And these are the things that you need to do to beat players that are sitting so high. You've got to play at this level. He was on a win streak like this was
2020. Of course, he was one of the players that was most affected by the onset of COVID, because he had won Montpellier, he had won Rotterdam, and he lost to Djokovic in Dubai. Remember, he had 3 match points in that second set tiebreak. And then, of course, the tennis season shut down right after that. And then he went on that terrible losing streak. Couldn't get it back. Memory serves, Rog, that was the chance to end the win streak against Novak at 16. And he ended up not getting it done. One of the better streaks in his career. First set just dropped off a little bit in this set. Just dropped off.
And this is one of those games, if you're Gael and you're his team, this is one where you just want to try and find a way through. And on the other side, if you're Taylor, it's the game that you must break. You've been given some good looks.
Plenty of looks at second serves.
Give you an idea, that's 187, Robbie, from Gael. He points to his head. I don't know if that was a gun to my head, because his average first serve percentage numbers are 189 kilometres an hour. So his last 3 or 4 second serves have been
first serves.
First serves.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage, Monfils.
Well, there's a fine line between genius and stupidity. And right now, he is looking like a genius. Whenever we see these kind of games unfold, you know they take on so much meaning in the context of a match.
Yes, good point.
He's kept him honest there. Previous point, big bomb down the middle. And then the slider at 179. Just soaked in spin, that one.
Second service.
Massive hold in the context of this match. His fans know it, his team knows it, and his reaction says he knows it.
2 games old.
Oh, good. What theatre. And that was a tug of war there. Big miss for the American. And because I'm in Australia, it's a let's go. And Taylor's done a good job, Robbie, because for a lot of other players, Gael's tennis would have frustrated you today. Didn't find a way through. He's been able to get to everything. He gets up to the drop shot. Taylor's emotional control's been pretty good.
40-15.
Yep, double thumbs up. That was good.
Let's get a little bit of slap tennis there and see what happens.
40-30.
Gets a couple of wins and all of a sudden the game tightens up.
Another good hold from Taylor. This camp's happy. He leads 3-2 in the fourth. 10 for the Italians, 8 for Argentina and Spain. Germany comes in with 5. It's the top tier of country representation in the men's draw. Australia, USA, France, Italy, Argentina, Spain.
They take a fair few, don't they? They take a fair bit of the draw up at the moment.
And it's great for the sport, right? Such a big market, the US. Got Coco flying the flag on the women's side as well. Emma Navarro, Jessica Pegula. So many. Who could forget Danielle Collins? She's always front and center.
Yes.
And like Novak, I love her pugilistic nature. Bring it on. Come on, all comers. I'll take you all on. Love it.
Yep. She's definitely prepared to live in her lane.
Oh, yeah. Unapologetic for it. Refreshing. That's in. That's in is the lane between the white lines. Okay. Now things start to get a little bit more interesting. If you do break or get broken, especially for Fritz, there's not as much wriggle room now.
Expect a push here from Gael. He'll be working hard early in this game here. That first point, when you serve that second serve and you got someone like Gael in that form, when that sails long, you, whew,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
30 love.
Continues to impress on serve. Just the 4 points lost in total in the set. Make that 5.
30-15. Let for service.
That's a beautiful serve. Classic swing serve through the middle of the court.
Yeah, strong hold again, Taylor, well done. Just plodding away. 4-3.
Fritz leads by 4 games to 3.
As you can see from the shadow, it's about almost halfway across. And it'll edge into shade pretty quickly. And I think as long as there's a bit of sun and heat out there, it plays into Monfils' hands.
And Mike Russell and Taylor Fritz then were having a lot of dialogue around some sort of footwork activity. Oh, it's a big miss. Hasn't missed one of those
Love 15.
since the opening set. And you mentioned Taylor is not really in favour of the live coaching. His team is sitting in the second row, so they've got be happy with that. So long, Gael is in a defensive position. Michael Russell, the coach, you can see they're sitting in the second row. At the front row, there's a tablet, which gives you all live data on the match. And so they've obviously chosen that that will not be part of our setup.
Let for service.
Shine going after the Fritz forehand, hey?
Yeah.
Noticed that today.
30-15.
And it is the wing, isn't it?
If you can rush it, yeah.
If you can rush it.
Yeah, because the backhand's more compact. Defends quite well off of it, doesn't he?
Let for service.
What an absolute masterclass in point construction. He engaged him.
40-15.
He denied him any rhythm. And then right here, he just taps his talent. And he does it again.
Gael Monfils.
Genius at work.
4 games all.
And they're enjoying it because, and they should be, because it's not often in the later part of Gael's career that he's playing this high quality. Well, this is top 10 tennis for this period of time. It's almost been 2 hours. In fact, it has. It's virtually been about 2.5 hours of tennis.
Oh, yeah. We've just ticked over into the 3-hour mark in total now.
And there's the reason why Taylor Fritz feels very reluctant to come forward, because he does come forward to the wrong spot first of all, and then doesn't have any idea of what movement pathways to take in that forward half of the court. And that's something, Robbie, if you want to invest in that, that's time. Oh, I've seen this picture before, and this movie doesn't normally end well for the opposition. Gael defending for his life. It's like he's protecting his family on the baseline. You're not coming through me. And then when he gets the opportunity, the bullet, he's laughing. He's hurting a bit there as well, and he's thinking, this is what it felt like. How good. Well done. Difficult scenario there.
15-13.
You feel like the serve is the only thing that's going to potentially take Taylor through this game. What a move from the Frenchman. Stepped inside the court, understood the situation, and smothered that quickly.
15-14.
Tell you what, this is a big pressure moment right here, right now. Good serve. Good serve, but he got a decent amount of stick on it. You would have expected to make it. Monfils has got to be brave here. Monfils.
And the minute the American had to come forward, Gael's eyes, they lit up. He had a target.
Into a frenzy, looking for one of the big upsets of the tournament. But there's still a little bit of work to be done. Given how well he has been serving in general, he'll back himself. The last service game was a little tricky.
Listen to them. They've appreciated how good this is. And does he have the nerve to play that? What he's done in the last 2.5 hours right now and just finish this off. And I say that because when he led 2 sets to love against Petri Pericard and went to serve for the match, he had a couple of match points, just served big double faults. That's his biggest.
Wow.
Struggled there, didn't he, Taylor, to get to that ball? You could see that was almost, there was some conditioning attached to that. Didn't have to move too far. And that was a let-off.
Well, it's been mesmerising, that serve.
30-15.
It's been top tier in that department.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? Yes, we can, say his fans.
A ball that he never had any right to get to as well, by the way. The Taylor Fritz backhand was a ripper, but the lob...
2 match points for Monfils. Of so many beautiful pictures in this sport, paints a masterpiece today. Hang it in the Louvre. Monfils takes down Fritz in 4. A masterclass. 3-6, 7-5, 7-6, 6-4. Well, the man loves the game, doesn't he? And he deserves